Oh, welcome. This is Mike O'Laughlin at the Irish Roots Cafe, and today we've got a special investigation, and it's about Sean Nós. What is Sean Nós? What is Sean Nós song or Sean Nós dance? And what is a Sean Nós gathering? Is it like a come-to-meeting revival? Well, in a way it is, because this is the way they danced and sang in Ireland way back when, centuries. Of course, people add things to it, and it looks a little different now, and it might sound a little bit modern, but we're trying to get back to the oldest stuff, and we'll let some of the new stuff in too. But we're having a gathering of people in Kansas City. That's why I thought I'd let you know what was going on. And this stuff, all this became about before recording studios, before there were movie stars, before the Hollywood stages, and it's the way the people did it, just like no one was watching. You know, they say it's not about the singer, it's about the song. You're holding a piece of history in your hand, something that survived the ravages of the 17th century when the Gaelic educational systems and sponsorships of the chieftains all fell to naught. And hey, it's fun, and you're going to learn a lot at the same time. And for those who know, they're going to enjoy it. And for those who don't know, you can come to listen, you can enjoy. And if you want to, you can even perform and learn. And we brought some people in to help you here. So that's going to be fun too. And it's to introduce the old style song and dance to the public, along with some Irish sounds from the musicians, Irish musician sessions. And it's just to introduce a lot of people in the Midwest. But I'm telling you, some people call it flyover country, but we've been left out of some of this. We're going to find out right now what it's all about. I've asked for a couple of quick examples from our instructor. We're flying in from Boston. He's taught for 30 years from coast to coast, Berkeley to San Francisco, Kansas City, Boston. Pretty amazing, and he's going to start with these sessions here at this gathering. He's going to start with those. With some Sean Nós steps, and then maybe some set dances. And I guess those set dances, a lot of that came from France, but he can explain that. I'm not the expert, but he's our dance facilitator, and it's fun, it's free, and we think it'd be a good place to learn about the Irish heritage, and you could even do the same thing where you live and make this sort of a movement that spreads. And now we're going to see, let me give you one quick definition, and I got this from Michael. And he gives us that Sean Nós step dancing is a form of Irish solo step dancing characterized by a relaxed body posture with the feet kept near the floor, tapping the rhythm of the music, and by spontaneity and improvisation with the steps. Now, you can learn a few steps, but basically you make it up as you go along. The Sean Nós style is in contrast to the rigid body, high kicking, and specified choreography of standard competition step dancing. That step dancing is where they've added those curls in, the last 100 years or so. So you won't have to have your hair in curls. We guarantee you that. And there's no good Irishman that can't make it up as he goes along. So Michael, we're going to turn it over to him, and I got a clip of him for about 60 seconds, showing you a little bit about what Sean Nós dance is about.
Dave, that was a basic Connemara step for doing Connemara Sean Nós step dancing. I'm Michael Collier, and together with Nissa Patton, we'll be teaching this step and others at the Kansas City Sean Nós event. And furthermore, we'll be doing some old style of set dancing, sets with specific steps like those, and which really you'll never find anywhere else. They're just not taught anywhere else. And these steps might include things like a jig step, or even a polka step. And with those sets, we can have some great fun there. So I hope you'll be willing and to come and learn and take up a step, and it'll be a great time. To fall to row it, go Kansas City. Thank you.
And now we're not going to just stop at the Sean Nós dance. We're going to go on into some Sean Nós song. And I tell you, it's a new definition. It's only about 100 years old, but this is the way people would sing 500 years ago, the 17th century, when there was still the Irish ways left. And Sean Nós, my definition for a pure Sean Nós performance would be that it was sung in Irish, a cappella, that's solo, with a raw, unprocessed sound, and it's sung to a pulse rather than a perfectly steady beat. And you learn it via oral tradition, not necessarily just in a classroom. And it has specific ornamentation that you'll recognize. And there's usually a sense of the song's history included with the singer, you know, and where it came from and the provenance of it all. And, of course, all this changes, and you've got some Sean Nós influences in all kinds of songs that come through Ireland. And, of course, with each new wave of people that came into Ireland, they added their thing. So sometimes it's hard to separate it, but I think you'll understand once you see some of this. Now, I'll give you a few. I've got a little bit of a cold, but we're going to give you a few samples of what some of Sean Nós things, pure and not pure. Here's Roisin Du. It goes back to at least the 17th century, maybe the 16th. Roisin na biobronort. And then some people sing in English with a little Sean Nós styling, and you might call this it, Skibbereen. It's well I do remember that cold December day. The landlords and their bailiffs came to drive us all away. They set our roofs on fire with their demon yellow spleen. And that's a cruel reason why we left old Skibbereen. And, of course, you can have some fast ones like She Do Amoy. She do amoy, she do amoy, she do amoy, Calia Connecticut. She do amoy, a Irish warrior, a Korushi Koshti, what a Kusharigid. Or Kunla, the Irish spirit of the night, we say. Keishini at a lagan neglaka, Keishini at a lagan neglaka, Keishini at a lagan neglaka, Toradum shinis Kunla. There's no end to it. And I'm not an expert, but I've been looking at it for about 4 or 5 years now, and I really like it. So I'll be there to help with some Sean Nós, and we've invited some other people in too, waiting to hear from you. Hey, if you're out there and you know what you're doing, come on in here and show all of us who don't have your experience. Give us some tips and let us hear you sing. That's what it's all about. And this is one of the rare chances you get to do it. How many people invite you in to sing, really? Now, this is an old-fashioned session here coming up next. At work in Kansas City, and there's going to be some of this going on during the gathering. And if you do it in your city, you can have a gathering like this too. Most sizable cities will have a session around somewhere near, and musicians from all parts of the city or the region gather together regularly in a pub, and they play tunes along with an occasional song, and you could have a refreshment and maybe a sandwich or a bite to eat. And all that background music is free for the listening, so how can you beat that? It's a good idea for a business, it's a good idea for people, and it's great for your musicians. So I'm going to have to sign off now, but I tell you what, we're going to come up with this clip. We're going to end with the musician sessions at Mike's Tavern on Troost here, I think it is. They agreed to let us tape just a little bit of what they were doing. And all of this put together is basically what a Sean Nós gathering is for us. Or should I say a revival meeting for the old way of the Irish. And reporting from the Irish Roots Cafe, I am Mike O'Loughlin in advance of the free gathering in Kansas City. And that happens April 23 to 26, 2014. All public events and free for the asking, so I'd check it out. Thank you very much. Well, can't you hear that whistle blowing, folks? Until next time, this is Mike O'Loughlin talking to you from right where Ireland met America at the Irish Roots Cafe right down by the river.